Hello, my name is Dwayne Mason Jr., and I'm a licensed professional counselor with So today I want to talk to you a little bit about conflict management and trying to keep the peace in a conflict. So I came up with a few tips and little ideas that we can use to help us manage conflict. So one of the first things I would like to do is just talk about why we have conflict. Most times we have conflict because two individuals or a group of individuals can't come to an agreement. And as we understand, there will be plenty of times to where we get in situations to where we may not come to an agreement. However, in conflict, that's when we get to a place of growth or even relationship growth. A lot of things come from conflict if we allow ourselves to go to it or go through it to get to a place of solution or resolution. Conflict can be very helpful, but it's going through it and doing it in a way that we get to a solution. So I came up with a few areas that I feel like could be helpful in the midst of a conflict. And the first area I would like to just talk a little bit on would be trying not to get so defensive in the midst of conflict, which is very difficult. But at the same time, we have to understand what is actually leading to the conflict. Most times we go off on different tangents, and now we may not know why the argument or the conflict is there anyway. And now we're just defending our honor or trying to then fight ourselves out of this conflict. And by doing that, we become defensive. So trying to put yourself in a less defensive place and really getting to a place of listening, which is actually the next point. So the next point is listening. Again, one of the hardest parts in conflict is listening, but at the same time, a very vital place. Listening allows the other person to really feel like they're a part of the conflict, but also can come up with different solutions. But it's very difficult because most times in conflict, individuals are speaking over each other, are arguing, which in that point, nobody's listening to get to a place of resolution or solution. So understanding that we have to listen to each other in the midst of conflict to get to a place of solution. Lastly, would be trying to use I statements. I statements are so important in conflict because when we use the word you, it's more challenging than I. I puts it all on the individual at hand instead of saying you, the other person, which makes it challenging and it makes the other person then get on the defensive. So using those I statements are really important to lower and decrease the amount that the conflict can go and exacerbate different things, or we can just focus on myself and I. Another point would be just managing your tone. Tone is so important, especially as human beings, we tend to match tone. So we can come into a situation to where someone is aggressive and has a loud tone, and we tend to then rile up and get in that same tone just to match that other person. What that tends to do is create the conflict then bigger and stronger. And now we have something else on our hands besides maybe the conflict even that was there to begin with. So trying to manage your tone by maybe even taking some breaths or calming yourself down before to go into a conversation that may lead to conflict or may even lead to solution, but understanding that it's your decision and your place to manage your tone. Lastly would be to manage your own emotions. We all have emotions, we all have feelings, and it's up to us to make sure that we manage those and that we do those correctly to make sure that we don't put those on anyone else. So again, just like in the same point, we tend to match each other's tone, match each other's energy, but also match each other's emotions at the same time. And if someone is here, we tend to be right up there with them. So understanding that it's our decision, it has to be up to us to then be able to control that aspect of our emotions. And a central part of conflict is that we are responsible for us. So we have to be able to control every part of the conflict within ourselves. That's the most difficult part in conflict, is staying in control of yourself. You must stay in control When you put yourself in control, then it's very difficult for someone else to lead you into something that you don't want to do. But understanding that you are always in control of every aspect that we just highlighted. And at any point, feel free to grab another individual or, again, a licensed professional to help mediate, or third party to help mediate some of these things if you feel like you're getting really difficult. It's getting difficult to get to a solution. But remember, you're in control. And I hope these things help manage any conflict that you find yourself in, or just trying to keep the peace. Thank you for your time, and God bless.